All right, good morning and welcome back. If you're just joining us, you've missed a very important conversation as far as how the economy has been affected by COVID-19. However, here's your chance to join in on the conversation. And the question of the day we are asking today is, how are businesses cushioning themselves in the wake of COVID-19? In the wake of coronavirus, how are businesses able to cushion themselves? Wewe kama mama mboga umejikushon vipi? Wewe kama hotelia umejikushon vipi? You as that jua kali person wa kuchomelea karai, wa kuchomelea ndoo, how exactly are you cushioning yourselves? That is what we're asking today. I have a couple of people from several sectors, the manufacturing industry, the sports and the hotelier industry, which, by the way, we've just been told is going to be one of the hardest hit as far as transport is concerned. And a lot of guys are asking about the work from home. And actually, let me come to you, Mr. Wanjohi. Working from home, as the government said, a manufacturer can't work at home, or rather work from home.
That's one thing that is puzzling us, and we are trying to live within the advisory provided by the government. One thing that we are trying to analyze, or already we have analyzed, and in fact we have even been forced to shut down the production lines, some of the production lines, before we come probably up with a skeleton team that is working within those production lines.
All right, actually, I'm sorry about that one, Joey. There's a Francis on the line. Let's just get that caller first. Francis, good morning.
Yes, how are you?
Yes, sir. How are you doing?
I just want to participate.
Please do.
Impact of economy.
Yes.
You know, just recently we are in politics of Yeleweke and the Tagataga. That one had already impact on our economy.
Very true.
Yet our government was very ignorant. For now, they are very silent. They are scared about this because this coronavirus. Yes. It doesn't favor anybody, whether you are rich or not.
Very true.
So they are scared about that. Now, since we are now attacked by this virus,
yes,
we are not aware what to do, because as I can see governors closing market. When you close the smaller market, you have effect on normal mwananchi.
Very true.
Farmers from the Machabani, where they sell the yabud.
Yes.
I saw last time other countries, developed countries, as they order people to go back to do self-quarantine.
Yes.
They are organizing resources to feed them. Because there is no way you can ignore the cow which you milk. At the end, you expect milk from that cow.
Okay. Thank you very much, Francis. That's very true. I totally agree with you. We also have Paul from Kisumu. Paul, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. I'm Paul Otto from Kisumu City.
Yes. What is your question or comment?
My comment is, or rather question. You know, we have been hard hit by this particular problem. And my question directly goes to our government. We have seen a lot of governments take an opportunity of take a step of helping their citizens by helping the companies which are hard hit by this, so that the employees can get pay. What are they thinking about the citizens of Kenya? Then question number 2 is about tax. Why don't they think about lowering for us tax for this month or the subsequent months, when we still have the problem, such as the pay as you earn? Because I can imagine I give the government over 10,000 pay as you earn, and at the same time, I pay a lot of taxes. The little that I take home, I pay a lot of taxes. Tactically, when I calculate, I give the government individually over 20,000 in a month over taxes. Why don't they think of reducing like pay as you earn for this time, and the loan rates, so that they can help us? They've been given 6 billion, and I'm sure they can't use all of this money.
Sawa, Paul. Thank you very much. We also have Joshua from Kirinyaga. Joshua, habari asubuhi?
Salama kabisa kakangu.
Mimi niko salama. What is your question or comment today?
Now, I think things will be, and they will get very thick for businesses in Kenya and across the world, basically.
Yes.
You see, Mbuvi, if you look at the way we operate as Kenyans,
yes.
Mbuvi, when you realize that you have something in your bank on the 23rd of the month and you know that you'll be paid after 2 days,
yes,
you normally go and withdraw that and buy some rims or buy some new tires or a new phone.
Yes.
It is the same thing that our government operates. Really, we never hear them say that we had this balance, this amount of money left from last year's financial year.
Yes. And
we are bringing forward this year around. We always have a deficit. So with the kind of environment that is prevailing due to the COVID-19, things will be very thick. And I really pity my fellow patriots, because if the government were to impose a lockdown,
yes,
we will be evading or protecting our people from dying of from the pandemic, but then they risk dying of starvation.
Yes.
I mean, this is really terrible for Nambuvi.
Very.
As I finish, allow me to comment something I saw yesterday, and because I'm a very, I love K24 very much, I definitely have to say this.
Thank you.
I saw one of our reporters yesterday in Mombasa. He was talking, there was a press, and there were people who had gathered around him to give a press briefing. I think as our journalists and reporters go around collecting information, which is very key, let them advise people not to come around and gather around, because we need to observe the social distancing.
Okay.
So that we don't kill people trying to give them information. Thank you very much, Mbuvi.
Thank you very much, Joshua. Always a pleasure having you on the show, talking about social distancing there. Okay, before I let my guests comment, here's a message from WhatsApp as well. This is what you're saying in regards to cushioning your business. Good morning, guys. In small businesses, they are taking COVID-19 seriously, while supermarkets are trying their best. But we are worried when the government will shut down if the situation will worsen. Where will we get sources of income or even food? Where will we get our source of income or food? Okay, very good question. We shall definitely answer that, and also in regards to what the government can do to make sure that things are at least cushioned a bit. However, Mr. Wanjo, you were explaining something about the production line and how it's been affected by this whole people have to work from home.
So we have production lines on essential and non-essential goods. For essential goods, you can see even the government directive is that at the such, we have to continue production. You're talking of pharmaceutical and the drugs. You're talking of our food and beverage. You're talking of what's meant for our construction and whatnot.
Right.
All these are essential services because they're serving our needs. They're not serving our wants. So at the such, there is a call for maintaining a skeleton team within our production lines. But then when you're maintaining a skeleton team, that means there's some others who are at home. By the end of the month, then we have to pay the payee for them. We have to pay
NHIF
and all these. So what we're looking at is a hybrid strategy that is, or no one can call it a common good bailout strategy for the manufacturing sector, and not only for the manufacturing sector, something that is helping the whole country. For instance, if we have a skeleton team that is being maintained on our production line, then why can the government look at how we can reduce the payee? If we are talking of the progressive tax that is paid within the 4 bands or the 5 bands, the lowest band falls at someone who is earning 11,000. Can we increase this to 25,000 so that at least if we increase it to 25,000, anybody who is earning within that band is not taxable, and by doing so then we are able to increase the disposable income into their pockets. That's one strategy. So, the other strategy for all the companies in the country is how can we decrease the corporate tax from 30 to 15%.
Is that high? 30%?
Yes, 30% for the corporate tax. You can reduce it to 15% for the period that we're going to be affected. And then by doing so, we will be cushioning our companies and ensuring that after we have come over the challenge, there will be continuity and sustainability of our businesses. Even on top of these, there are very many panic calls that are being made every day. We have the excess duty that is being charged on our calls, on our data, and on our SMS. That is 15%. And on top of it, again, we have 16% that is charged. That means is 31% on call, data, and the SMS. We can look at how we can revise the excise regime. Probably the 15% can be abolished for a certain period of time. We like the monetary policy measures that were taken by the central bank, whereby the financial transactions have been revised a bit in a way that they are now favoring the Kenyans. But now, over and above these, we can also look at now the excise tax being revised. And many other strategies, fiscal policy strategies, we're talking about monetary policy strategy. Like, for instance, government can also expedite the VAT refunds that are owed by, to each and every private sector player. So you find that if we can have the refund mechanism being established and then they have their money, then those are some of the bailout strategies which have a common good perspective in them. They're not only serving the manufacturing sector, they're serving even other sectors in a way that we will be able to overcome the challenge together as a country.
Okay. Bwana Francis, as far as now the games are concerned and the sport industry is concerned, fine, assuming we are told it's okay to attend the Olympics, it's okay to attend the football pitches to watch football, but the players themselves, the athletes themselves withdraw from the games. If Kipchoge says, mimi siendi London, hata mkitaka, mimi sikuji, now what happens?
That would be very bad because sports is about the personalities. It's about the stars, it's about the champions. We all go to sports events most likely because of the person we are going to watch. Definitely. So if that person is not there, it means then it's as good as not happening because then you would have an event which is not followed. In terms of the current situation, and because most people I know are familiar with the sports when they watch them play, we have several sectors within our sports industry. The first one is just the infrastructure. We have the stadiums which are predominantly owned by either the national government or the county governments. But we also have the infrastructure within clubs. We have the swimming pools. Yes. We have the gyms, which probably most people are now cutting down in terms of going to the gym. Then we have the second place, which is the practitioners of sports. We have a growing number of sports marketers. We have consultants within the sports fraternity. We have the coaches. We have the teachers. Now, each of these sectors is affected differently. In terms of the infrastructure, it means their daily or monthly income from the people who come to those particular areas and not there. If you look at it like a major stadium like Kasarani, you'll find there are both sports events and non-sports events, which is an income generating. It means right now all those events have been suspended. The stadiums have been closed. That means no income. That affects the people who are working, because down the line, as you've all mentioned from other sectors, is that the ripple effect will start affecting any particular area. When you look at the private enterprises, in terms of the gym, in terms of the swimming pool, a lot of schools and learning institutions avail some of these facilities for the public to be able to access off school time or during the weekend, because they're able to earn an extra income from the people who go. The people who are practicing it, it's on a daily basis. If there is no event, then you have no event manager. And event managers are the people who in the country are currently putting in a lot of investment into the sport, because you're told an event will happen in about 3 months down the line.
So there's advertising.
There's all the system you need to put in place. You need to invest, like most of them had already invested in a number of events which are coming up. Right. Now, if these events do not take up, that's an investment which you've already done. You've already run your advert. You've already set up whatever system you needed to set up, so you start losing out. But most importantly, and which now we are all familiar with, is the individual sports person. The individual sports person, when you look at the top level, we have the athletes who won from the marathon series, the road races, and all the international events. Right. A lot of them have either been postponed or cancelled. It means what they had scheduled to win, and sometimes these events you won in millions. Right. They have lost out. Once they earn that money, they come and invest it in various places. Like a good part of the Eldoret economy is run by investment from the athletes. Because yes, because they earn millions, they come and invest predominantly the farming industry. And therefore they are not earning that money. That means the local industry within Eldoret is not receiving that income. Right. There are the teams, and in Kenya we do not have too many. We have some teams which people are paid on a regular basis. Right. Now, where does money to pay sports come from? It comes from government, and it comes from sponsorship. Sponsorship now, like we've heard from tourism and manufacturing, who are the people who would go to sponsor our events, they're already being affected at their own areas. That means before they sort out their bid, they'll not be able to come to sports.
They can't come to you at all.
To put in weight. Our government, we all appreciate the challenges it's facing currently. I mean, top of their list is safety of every Kenyan. So we will not expect them to divert funds we'd expect them first to put funds in what will protect every Kenyan. So that means the individual athlete who would have earned from any of these streams will not be able to earn it. And secondly, those people who are supporting the system to enable the athletes to participate, it means it's not happening. You need to have events, you need to have activities so that those athletes then can be paid for what they provide. Now, that has closed off. In terms of the games, yes, most of the games have been cancelled. We are waiting today. There'll be probably an announcement around the Olympics, although we've been advised it's more of a wait-and-see situation because the situation around the world is changing almost every week. So that is a big one. The other events have been pushed. The latest was yesterday, the French Open, which was scheduled for June. Now it's been pushed all the way to September. So what does that mean? It means all the income which a lot of these athletes would have gotten locally and internationally for the first 6 months, it means they'll be suspended. And they have no options. It's not like they're on a salary. If they appear,
they depend on this.
They appear on it, then they get paid on that. So that becomes something which we hope can change very fast. But like Macharia says, we have to wait till now the cycles have been running. 30 days to 30 days, 90.
It's funny, you guys actually seated next to each other, and your industries are very much related. You said the fact that sports might not happen, and the hotel industry has also been grounded to some extent, and now we understand even some, some international airlines have shut down their what is it called, their operations. So that means that even getting to jumpstart that, even if we were told, okay, now things are back to normal, a lot has to be done so that all that can now start happening again. And when we want to break, you even said even the planes being grounded is a problem.
Yes, for you to ground an aircraft for a period of a week or even 2, it means you have to service it before you can travel. So what will happen is that all these aircraft that have been grounded, first of all, will need servicing. And do we have enough money for that service? Do we have enough expertise in terms of technical know-how to service all of them at a go?
At the same time.
Can we fly all of them out
at the same time?
It's not possible. So what you'll see happening is that you'll see a slow pickup, very slow. So I'm not even sure that we can be able to achieve, to deliver an Olympics, even if things went back to normal today. Because the kind of planning that goes behind, and he'll tell you, the kind of planning that goes behind the scenes is huge. You have TV crews, you have people staying in the village, you have people staying in the hotels, you're planning your transport there. It's a lot that goes on behind the scenes to deliver an event like an Olympics. So it's going to be very difficult. Now, from the public health and safety point of view, is the government doing the right thing? And people say a stitch in time is worth 9. So we are probably in that situation where that it's a stitch in time. I know a lot of people are worried about the economy, about where the next meal will come from. But if you look at the government's Big Four agenda, universal healthcare is one of it. And to protect its citizens from eventualities such as this is top on the government agenda. So we must understand that. At the same time, we'll still go back to the same government and ask for assistance. Now, there's a lot of suggestions that are coming through, and they are all very good. But at the end of the day, we've got to give the government something that is workable. Because if you say, for example, give us a tax reprieve. For how long? We need to let the government know what's the impact. Because if we do a blanket tax reprieve, then the government is not able to raise money to give us the services that we are demanding for.
Then they go broke.
So it's a chicken and egg. So it's something that we need to really think about critically. We've got some ideas for the hotel industry and how that can happen. We've had conversations with our minister Cabinet Secretary Balala. We've had 3 meetings. In fact, we're having another one this afternoon to discuss what sort of stimulus packages the government can offer, because we do need to have our people in a comfortable situation, so that even if they know they're shutting down, then they're not shutting down and being broke at the same time.
Exactly.
And even if they did shut down and had the money, would they be able then to access the food and supplies that they require? And that's where we now have the input of the manufacturers. The issue of avoiding crowding is one that is very critical in the spread of this or the slowdown of the virus.
Yes.
So we were talking, because like in our industry, in the hotel and tourism industry, we are used to working on shifts.
Right.
Yeah, we come in the morning, some people come in the afternoon, some people come in the evening. So maybe the other subsectors which cannot work from home can try and look at those models where people are traveling off-peak. So you have a bunch of people maybe leaving at 6 in the morning, another bunch at 10, another bunch at 1. And, you know, just try it so that you avoid, because we also have a public transport issue where you don't want everybody to be in the same matatu at the same time. So if we can try and adopt some of these initiatives, then we are able to support government. Then we can go back to government and say, hey, look, we are also trying from our end, so listen to us. Give us these stimulus packages. We think if we get a window of 3 to 6 months of first of all a reprieve on loans repayment, which we can discuss with the banks after we find the money from the government.
Right.
And then we can talk about some of those temporary issues, like a reduction of PAYE.
Yes.
Maybe a reduction of VAT in the short run.
To abolish taxes, kabisa.
we can, unfortunately, we cannot do without taxes.
Right.
But it is also an opportunity for the government to really review the tax regime in Kenya, because Kenyans feel very highly taxed. And it's a good opportunity to review that. It's also a good opportunity to relook at our health facilities. There are some things that we can do as an emergency. Like now, if the hotels are empty, we can offer them as facilities for treatment or even containment.
Right.
Schools that have shut down, the boarding schools, they have dormitories. We can offer those facilities as all we need is equipment, medical equipment, as containment and treatment facilities. So these are some of the things that we can do, and we can also try and assist and in our own way as private sector to try and assist government. So it's not just about Serikali's idea. It's about working together to find a solution in this window.
Maybe as we finish off very quickly, what else do you think the government can do? Because we've heard of other governments in Europe. I don't know how true some of these reports are, but kuna maserikali zimesema, as a matter of fact, msilipe electricity bill for the next 3 months. Water is free also for the next 3 months, and so on and so forth. What else can we do, probably our government can do in regards to helping kaida na wananchi ajikushan from all this?
We may not be operating within the same space with industrialized nations or the superpowers. We are likely to come up with a homegrown solution. Some of these homegrown solutions are looking at what you're talking about, sustainability of the businesses going forward. If there's disruption of the business, then how can we encourage continuity of the business within? As an association, we have taken 1 or 2 measures. One of it is we have come up with a directory that is currently running, that all the business people within the country can get into, which is directory.kam.co.ke. When you get into that directory, you'll be able to see what is locally manufactured. In a way that if you are used to import some of the finished products, then you can get to that directory and call directly to some of our manufacturers, and now through that you can be able to get your supplies.
Okay.
Another initiative we are taking is this, what is called the list of locally manufactured goods that is meant for exclusive local sourcing by the government.
Okay.
Currently seated between the Ministry of Industry and the Cabinet. We are asking for the expedition as far as the gazettement of the same is concerned,
so
that we can see the uptake of the government consuming this. By doing this, we will be able to sustain the jobs that are created within the country. We'll be able to offer sustainability to the investments that are within the country. And also at the monetary policy level, there's some other measures that can be taken. We have like now the repo rate being revised from the current 5% to about 1%. So that now you can encourage the commercial banks to retain much of the money, and they can be able to offer these to the private sector, whereby there is a financial gap. For instance, someone has ordered a consignment from China or wherever, and it is stuck. So that is money that is stuck.
Okay.
So the banking sector then can be given such a reprieve in a way that once they have more liquidity, then they can be able to lend to. But now again, we need to see the drastic revision on like now the central bank lending rate from the current 8.25 to about 5%.
Okay.
And then the commercial banks also revises the same from around 13% or 14% to 9%, so that what we are talking is the common good for the country. So now by doing so,
kila mtu asaidike.
Okay. By doing so, then we'll have liquidity. And having liquidity, then there will be business and multiplier effect of the economy happening within.
Okay. Francis, maybe in about 30 seconds, will the sporting world recover from COVID-19 as soon as we are told we are given the green light?
Not immediately. It will take time. We have what we call scheduling and periodization of every sports person.
Okay.
As we speak, that has been affected. It means that the coaches, the technical teams have to go back, rework it all through. Some were at peak level, some were pre-competition level. So it will not be immediately. It will take time.
Okay.
Probably a window of 30 to 60 days. In terms of economy, it will not pick up because already the losses have been incurred as we speak.
Yes.
And therefore it will take time for people now to start recovering. Or we are appealing for people, especially our sports people who are directly affected and do rely on a real-time basis of payment. It's just to adjust their lifestyles so they can be able to manage for the time being, because we do not know how long it will last. We know finally it will come to an end.
It's just that we don't know when.
We do not know when. So it just taking measures to manage and to keep their fitness level within a reasonable level without too much intensity which tires them, but just to keep it ready.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Wanjohi, of course, Bona Francis, and Mr. Masharia for your input as far as this is concerned. Definitely this conversation is something that might need to take place again and look at other perspectives of the same. Thank you very much as well at home for all your contribution in regards to the question of the day and everything that you're doing as far as as far as business is concerned. Thank you very much. On behalf of Jeff Morton, Shiku Kaitani, tunasema kwa heri for now, and in the spirit of social distancing, I will not allow them to come on set. However, we shall say we'll see again tomorrow at exactly 6 a.m. for K24 this morning. Until that time, hasta la vista.